Well, they never said it was going to be easy. In a game of one-team runs, it's Florida's D holding off Kentucky one last time to escape Atlanta with the SEC championship and the 61-60 victory. You don't become the all-time leading goal scorer in women's soccer history by accident. In fact, everything that Abby Wambach has done, she's most definitely earned. And now the former Florida Gator is back here in the state of Florida, preparing for an international friendly match against France. Hey Wade, I am not in Gainesville, Florida anymore as the snow continues to pile down here in Lexington, and neither are the Florida Gators. Now lately, this has been a Florida Gators team that has had a lot of comparisons with the 2007 national championship team, whether it be by their big SEC win streak or by their veteran leadership. In a town with so much history, it's only fitting that the Gators continue to make history by rewriting the record books. Now it's back to back to back to back. 4 straight Elite 8 appearances for this senior class. For those that make it out to the Florida-Georgia game each and every year, you know that it's an annual tradition for some. Everyone's got a story to share. For those that make it an annual tradition, though, sometimes the way they make it up to Jacksonville can actually be more interesting than the game itself. Raise your hand if you saw this one coming. If your hand is raised right now, you're lying. No one saw this one coming. 418 yards on the ground for Florida, and it helps Coach Will Muschamp get his first win in Jacksonville. Prior to today, there was one very important banner missing from the outfield wall here at Katie Seashore Presley Stadium, a national championship banner. But now the Gators can add that because in 2014, history will read that the Gators were national champions. Hey, welcome into Gainesville Game Day. Phil Byrne and Chris Doring getting you ready for the big Florida at Tennessee game later today. And it's been ages since the Gators have played inside the swamp, and it seems like ages since we saw them last against Alabama. They will get a chance to redeem themselves. Obviously not easy going into that bye week following that loss. A lot on the table today. Now, Tim Tebow was actually in town for the Kentucky-Florida game last week, and here's what he had to say about today's Florida-Alabama game.
Next week's going to be a really good game. I think with the much improved Florida team, and that's going to be really fun.
All right, so Tim, of course, was talking about both teams entering this one with chips on their shoulders. Is that kind of something that you see out of this game? Let's head out to the border war on Friday night between Suwannee and Columbia. The Bulldogs will air it out early in this one. Stephen Anderson, Aaron McAllister. One play later, Denzel Washington. Yes, that Denzel Washington punches it in for the Bulldogs. 14-7 Columbia. But the Tigers would pull away in this one. Davin Shunk dumps it off. Delani Underwood. How good is Underwood? Delani goes in for the nice run and touchdown. 21-7 Tigers. And Columbia would run away with it. 42-14 the final. With a win over Newberry, Dixie County would be the District 6 champions. DC up 3-0 in the second quarter. Aaron Thomas hitting James Horsley 10 yards upfield. But this highlight is all Horsley. Fights off 2 tacklers, catches his balance, stiff arms another, and he turns a routine play into a big play. The Bears will cap off this drive with 6 points when James Bowers forces his way into the end zone. That's his 8th on the season. DC lights up the scoreboard once more before halftime when Aaron Thomas shows that, some quarterbacks, they just know how to get the job done. Excellent agility to stay in bounds and get in the end zone. You can crown Dixie County the District 6 champs with a 38-8 win over Newberry. Well, they never said it was going to be easy. In a game of one-team runs, it's Florida's D holding off Kentucky one last time to escape Atlanta with the SEC championship and the 61-60 victory. A too close for comfort finale provided a memorable send-off for the SEC champs when Kentucky's James Young tripped and couldn't get a shot off as time expired.
Scotty, jump on the ball, Scotty, get oh my God. That's exactly what happened, though.
But here's the thing. As unexpected as that finish may have been, the Gators were actually ready for it.
That exact handoff play is something we work on every single day in practice, just switching that off. And Scotty and Frazier, they communicated that perfect. And he just lost his balance. And when I saw the time go off that clock, I just went crazy.
The SEC win streak is now up to 21 straight after Atlanta, and UF becomes the first team to beat Kentucky 3 times in one season since 1979, and the first in school history to earn the NCAA's coveted #1 overall seed. For this bunch, it's all about moving past what's happened and focusing on the present.
In the moment of something negative happening, being able to move past it and let it go and refocus to the next thing. That's what they've learned to do. And they've gotten better through those experiences. That's where I think we've gotten better, is we're a better focused team moving past runs, adversity, mistakes, challenges, things not going our way.
When it matters, we're able to get a stop. We're able to stay together and play as a team. We knew they were going to make a run. We couldn't stop it, but at the end of the day, we got to stop. Scotty did a really good job defensively. We have all locked in, and we got it done.
The SEC champs return to action on Thursday. See you in Orlando. From the Georgia Dome, Phil Byrne, GTN Sports. Will Muschamp certainly has a unique perspective on the Florida-Georgia game because before he was a Gator, he was a Bulldog.
Great rivalries in college football. You look at, the Florida-Georgia game, you look at Texas OU. I mean, to be in the stadium, it's split 50-50, and the importance of the game to both universities are very special.
As a player, Muschamp had to go up against the Gators' fun-and-gun offense of the 1990s. And when Jacksonville's Gator Bowl was getting renovated, the Florida-Georgia game returned to a place that Muschamp knew pretty well.
Will Muschamp was a guy that grew up here in Gainesville. I knew him well. His high school coach was also my high school coach, so getting a chance to play against him was something I felt like I had something to prove.
And things went a little bit better for Doring and the Gators in 1994.
Georgia had me covering. That's what happened in that game. They asked for an ability alignment versus Jack Jackson. It was out of the stadium. So now Florida had a very good team that year, and they had me covering at Georgia, so it wasn't very good. No, I can't cover anybody. I can cover this. That's about all I can cover right now.
Certainly did well in a couple games against them, and at the same time he got a couple good licks on me as well. So it was fun playing against him. It was fun playing against Georgia because that, to me, as a kid growing up as a Gator fan, was always the most important game.
The series has often been dominated by one team. The 70s and 80s belonged to Georgia, but Florida owned the 1990s with just one loss to the rivals from Athens.
I came from the kind of the mindset that Coach Spurrier had, in that was the most important game on the schedule. In order to get where we wanted to be as a program, we needed to beat Georgia every year, and we did. We got on a run there in my 5 years, 91 through 95, where we won all 5 of them.
Running into the Gators' juggernaut of the 1990s, Muschamp was 0-4 as a player. Now on the Gators' sideline in 2014, he's 0-3 as a coach, and facing his most crucial game yet. With other losses mounting against him, he'll need to put a stop to the Georgia run to continue as head coach of the Gators.
Our guys understand the importance this game is at the University of Florida, and that's enough said for it.
If anyone understands the importance of this game, it certainly is Muschamp. Phil Byrne, GTN Sports. The Bell Bulldogs knew their goal.
Well, it's been known around here, the history, that we've never made the playoffs, so it was a goal that we set early when I got here last February, that was our goal, to be the first team in school history to make it to the playoffs, and that's what we've been working for since we got here.
And with an 8-2 mark in the regular season, the Bulldogs made the playoffs and made history.
You can't really explain it. Being the first team, we've had a football program for, the coach said, almost 80 years. And to be the first team to make the playoffs, it's just, there's no word for it. Really, there really isn't.
But to say that Coach Joey Whittington's first year at Bell has been a smashing success is quite the understatement. But he knew the Bulldogs had the potential to be special when he inherited the program.
When I got here and looked at the roster, I saw we had a lot of pieces coming back. I knew we had some kids coming in, and they're working the weight room February, March, April, over the summer. I knew that we had the pieces. If we could just come together, we'd have a pretty special team.
During their run to history, the season's been enjoyable for both the senior class and the community.
This has been a great time. Our community and fans have always been, great. There's some comparable.
This is the best group of guys I've ever known. I wouldn't trade them for anything. It's been really fun. I'm glad that my senior year's going like this.
Now, there's still work to be done for Bell, and that includes trying to advance history one more week with a win over Hamilton County on Friday night.
We feel good. We got to work hard. And we got to play good on Friday night for us to have a good game.
We'll see if Bell can continue to rewrite history. Phil Byrne, GTN Sports.